No, we just have a reasonable suspicion to figure out what's going on here.
No, sir. So you don't get to detain me to figure out if I've committed a crime, sir. The law and the statute states, in order for you to detain me, you must have reasonable, articulable suspicion.
Is that we had a description of a vehicle. Your vehicle matched that, and we're just here to determine, no, you're not the one, or yes, you are the one. Very
but see,
simple.
the law protects me. I don't have to answer questions.
Yes, sir. But we're asking for your cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
And can we get that cooperation?
I'm cooperating. The fact that I extend my rights doesn't mean I'm not cooperating, sir.
I understand that I'm filming you as well.
All right.
Why are you?
It's not illegal. That's not a reason to pull me over.
Well, okay, then I'll go with your obstructed view right there. The stickers on your back window. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I'm trying to understand why you're following me through neighborhoods.
I'm not. I was sitting there seeing you. I decided to film you.
I'm not going to write you a ticket for it because I don't think I need to, but I'm explaining to you why you're legally, lawfully pulled over and why you legally and lawfully have to identify being pulled over like this, okay? So it is what it is.
Then why wouldn't you commit to saying, yeah, if you don't give me your ID, you can be arrested?
Welcome to Mr.
Because
White,
I was trying-
a place where real encounters between law enforcement and the people unfold before your eyes. One night in the quiet suburbs of Wheatfield, ranked among the highest car theft zones in New York State, a tense encounter erupts between an auditor and a sheriff's deputy. Meanwhile, in Jacksonville, Florida, a city with over 900 lawsuits filed against police misconduct in the past decade, a former officer is unlawfully pulled over and responds with fierce resistance, challenging every question from law enforcement. 2 videos, 2 confrontations, one common thread, the truth about civil rights and the thin line between safety and abuse of power. Footage captured directly from Awakening the Masses and James Freeman. Make sure to visit and support their channels. Subscribe now to Mr. White for more high-stakes showdowns and comment 1 below if you're ready to awaken your legal awareness.
Okay. She didn't take... Oh, shit, I'm getting pulled over. All right. I'm getting pulled over. Yeah, I'm getting pulled over. All right. Yeah. Right on. I'm gonna leave you on speaker. All right.
Now we get to meet one another. How are you doing? What's going on with you following me? Are you an investigator of some sort?
Can I ask why you pulled me over, sir?
I pulled you over because the young ladies came over there and said you've been following her since she left the airport yesterday. So I want to know who you are.
Have I committed a crime?
No, but I'm conducting an investigation. Have you been following that young lady? I mean, if you're an investigator, investigate away. But if you're somebody harassing her or stalking her, that's against the law. Me pulling you over to find out who you are is me doing my job.
You mind getting that light out of my eyes?
Sir, it's nighttime. I don't know you from Adam's house cat. I don't know if you have weapons in here.
You see both my hands right here.
Well, I don't know if you have weapons in here, man. So I'm going to keep my flashlight right here where it is. I don't have it in your face. That would be in your face. I have it down. I'm trying to show you that respect. I'm illuminating the vehicle for my safety. Now, would you agree that I've answered every question you've asked me? And all I asked you was one simple question.
Am I free to go?
No, you are not. Not until I find out who you are. I'm conducting an investigation. Do you have your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance on you?
Have you pulled me for a traffic violation, sir?
No, sir. I've already explained that to you. Now, you can play the back and forth rigmarole all you want to. I've explained to you why I pulled you over.
Okay, and you didn't have PC. I'm not suspected of committing a crime.
The probable cause is that you've been following this young lady, and she...
Do you know that, sir? Did you see that? Did you see that, deputy?
You came back by. Why'd you come back by?
I don't have to answer questions.
Okay, you don't have to answer questions. Okay? You do have to identify yourself, sir.
Sir, if you suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime, I have to identify myself. You have no probable cause to pull me for a traffic violation. I asked you why you pulled me.
Because the young lady said that you've been following her since yesterday.
So you believe everything everyone says to you?
I'm conducting an investigation.
Okay. Well, you conduct right away, sir. At this point in time, I elect to not say anything. I elect to speak to say anything without having my attorney present. That would be Eric Friday.
Call him. Tell him to come up here. We're at the 8100 block of Arlington Express.
Just so you're aware, you're being videotaped.
I do not care. Do you get my good side? My right side is usually my best side.
Yeah, there's no good side on the cop's face.
Well, you're one of those people.
Yeah, it's one of those people. Yeah, and you're one of those people, right? Gun and badge for an extra rice, right?
No, it doesn't grant me an extra rice.
Yeah.
But
How about you do your job and honor your oath?
Telling me that somebody's been following her since yesterday? Yeah, I'm investigating.
Yeah, and you just take everything everyone comes up to you. Okay, I just said someone pulled a gun on me. You gonna go investigate that?
I sure would. Who pulled a gun on you?
Yeah.
Who pulled a gun on you? Someone pull a gun on you?
I don't answer questions, Deputy.
You don't answer questions. You just stalk young ladies. Just stand by them. Stand by.
He's coming back up to the vehicle.
Okay.
Your name and badge number, Deputy? Your name and badge number, Deputy? Well, the guy that pulled me's leaving. The guy that pulled me over is leaving. Am I free to go, Deputy? Am I free to go?
No, sir, not yet.
What am I being detained for, sir?
Hey, when I get around to get my car where it needs to be, I'll explain to you.
Hey, buddy, what's going on here?
Name and badge number, sir?
Simpson 66190.
Masinsin, M-A-S-I-N-S-I-N. Sir, I'd like to know why I'm being detained.
No, someone's saying that you're claiming you're stalking them. What is that? Are you an investigator or anything?
Okay, let me make this clear, sir. I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm not giving you gentlemen a hard time.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So I'm going to roll this window up, okay?
Okay.
I'd like to know...
Someone's alleged...
Let me speak for a moment, sir.
Go ahead.
No disrespect.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like for you to articulate what crime you suspect me of committing or what crime you suspect me of about to commit.
No, we just have a reasonable suspicion to figure out what's going on here.
No, sir. So you don't get to detain me to figure out if I've committed a crime, sir. The law and the statute states, in order for you to detain me, you must have reasonable, articulable suspicion that either I have committed.
Yeah, we have probable cause.
What is your probable cause?
We got a complaint that we got that the red.
That's not probable cause, sir. What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Stalking.
And you suspect me of committing stalking?
That's why I want to know. Were you anywhere near this? Near this?
I don't answer questions.
Do you know who she is?
I do not answer questions.
She has no idea.
If you're going to articulate that you suspect me of committing a crime and have reasonable suspicion of that.
If you don't agree with it, if you don't agree with our probable cause.
Your name and badge number, sir?
Sir, what's your name?
Your name and badge number, sir?
Well, you gonna remember?
All of you being recorded. I've got 4 cameras in this truck.
No
You're required by policy to issue your name and badge number. I'm going to ask you what. I'm speaking to this gentleman right now. I'll get your name and badge number in a minute. Your name and badge number.
0051.
What's your name?
I just told you.
I didn't hear it because I'm sitting there speaking to this
recording
gentleman.
it so you can pick it up later.
So I'm going to ask you once again. If you want to be a smartass about it, I'll file an internal affairs case on you.
I gave it to you once already.
I didn't hear it. I'm asking you once again. So to extend some professional courtesy and treat me with the respect I deserve.
I did.
What is your name and badge number?
Well, here's the thing, sir. I gave you mine.
70051.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Deputy. Was that so hard?
No.
Your name and badge number, sir.
Second time.
When I give you my name and badge number,
Can I have your name?
Name and badge number, sir.
Luke.
I'd like to have your name, sir.
See, the thing is, sir, the law states I don't have to give my name and information unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
I don't.
Then am I free to go? Because this is an illegal detainment.
At this time.
This is an illegal detainment.
Okay.
My attorney, Mr. Eric Friday, would love bring up a civil lawsuit against you in the city for this illegal detainment.
Sir, we're not trying to upset you.
I'm not upset.
We had a radio call. Let me give you what's
Go right ahead, sir.
We got a radio call that a vehicle matching this description of your vehicle was harassing someone in a short sense. Okay. Don't know what's transpired.
Okay.
We don't know anything about it. Your car meets what we were told, and that's why we're questioning you.
Okay.
And that's very simple. All we need to do is just ask you your name and the car and where have you been.
May I ask how my name is going to establish whether I've harassed someone or not?
You asked for our name. It would be nice to have your name as well.
It would be, but see, I don't...
And you don't have to give it
I appreciate
now
you saying that, sir.
All right, you don't have to give it now, but we'd just like to know, so we can... Gentlemen?
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
My name's Mike, sir. You can address me as Mike.
Okay, that's fine, Mike. That's a great beginning.
All right.
And the reason why is because, like I said, your car matches the description we were given.
I respect
Doesn't
that.
mean
I respect
you're guilty.
That. I respect that. You're talking to an ex-law enforcement officer, buddy.
All right? We're not saying you're guilty of anything. We didn't say that.
Then you were illegally detaining me. I asked the last deputy that left what was his reasoning for stopping me. He didn't stop me for trafficking. Let me calm down. I shouldn't be yelling at you.
Thank you.
I shouldn't be doing that.
I'm not yelling at you.
This deputy that stopped me, sir, did not articulate he was stopping me for a traffic violation. Then I asked him what his probable cause was, or what crime he suspected me of committing, or what reasonable crime, or reasonable suspicion.
The case is, as I stated, is that we had a description of a vehicle. Your vehicle matched that, and we're just here to determine, no, you're not the one, or yes, you are the one. Very
but see, the law protects me. I don't have to answer questions.
Yes, sir. But we're asking for your cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
And can we get that cooperation?
I'm cooperating. The fact that I extend my rights doesn't mean I'm not cooperating, sir. Would you agree with that, sir?
But I don't understand it. If you said you were an ex-law enforcement officer, and you understand that when somebody calls us and says, hey, this vehicle was following me, okay? And we stop you, and we ask you questions regarding you, either you did or you didn't.
Correct.
Wouldn't you think a citizen, if they weren't doing anything wrong, would say, no, I'm not doing that,
But see, sir, as a law enforcement officer, I realize how LEOs twist people's words.
No, we're not.
Let me finish speaking, okay?
Yes, please do.
They twist people's words. Any attorney, and all you three gentlemen will know, you don't ever speak to the cops.
I want to hear what he got to say.
You don't ever talk to cops. Never. You never talk to cops unless you're legally obligated to. Nothing good can come from that. I'm very well of my rights, very well aware of my rights. Now, I understand you're doing no fault with that. You are doing your job.
Okay.
And the mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make me uncooperative. Okay? Now, the fact that someone called you and said they're harassing doesn't give you the general order just to stop people.
No, that wasn't the reason why. Because a person in a vehicle that matched your description was doing that. We didn't say you were doing it.
Okay.
And that's what we're coming down to.
But how do you define harassing? Someone just called and says they were harassing. Did you ask her what they did? Did you ask the person?
She said a red truck, pickup truck was following her since she came in town.
Is that a crime?
We haven't determined that. We just want to make sure.
Do you see where I'm going with this, sir? I mean, I understand. You guys are doing your job, but do you see how this goes? I'm aware of my rights. You do not have, you have the right to ask me whatever question you want.
You're really enjoying this.
I'm not enjoying anything. You know what I am enjoying? How you officers fail to realize that those badges and those guns don't give you the right to violate other people's rights. Sir, you are. I've articulated to you that you are illegally detaining me. And because you choose to abuse your authority and not recognize that what I'm saying is a fact, you are illegally violating my rights.
To question you, to find out if you are the one or not the one that was violating this other woman's rights.
But I've made it clear, sir, I'm not going to answer questions. I've made it clear I'm not. You don't get to. Yes, sir. The fact that I'm exercising my rights does not mean I'm not cooperating, sir.
Yes, it does.
It does not. It absolutely does not. Now, if I was doing something against the law or resisting you in some manner...
We can't determine that.
But you don't get to question me so I can give you information so you can make a case or not a case. I'm not saying I am this person. I'm not saying I am not this person. But what you fail to realize is I do not have to speak to you, sir. And that does not give you the right to detain me until you get some information to charge me with the crime. You don't get to search and search until I say something or you twist something I say to use it against me. You gentlemen have a dangerous job. There is 19 unsolved murders in this city. Okay? You've got much better things to do to f*** me. Okay? I'm not a threat to anyone.
We're not here to talk.
What? Sir, there's 5 cops here. The gentleman that pulled me, and if he had any reasonable articulate suspicion, is no longer here. I'm assuming, I don't know where he is or where he's gone. You 3 gentlemen have no first-hand information. No first-hand information. This officer that pulled me over said he spoke with some individual that says apparently I was doing something was classified as harassment.
That's not what we said. We didn't say
you didn't say that. I said that officer.
That your vehicle was told.
Now, were you here? See this camera here?
Yes.
That officer stood here and said he spoke to a woman that said I was harassing her and following her for days. I didn't say you 3. The black gentleman, the gentleman that was here a few moments ago, that has now left the scene. So once again, gentlemen, hold on. Let me calm down.
Go ahead.
Once again, gentlemen, if you have a reasonable articulate suspicion of me committing a crime or about to commit a crime, you have a right to detain me, ask me for my ID, which I will oblige you with, as I'm required by law. Short of that standard, you are illegally detaining me. I've asked to be free to go, and you are telling me until I give you some information, I'm not free to go. That is a violation of my rights, sir. Do you understand that?
Please willing to give us your ID. That's all it is.
You know what, guys? I would love to give it to you because I used to be one of them. But because I'm aware of my rights and because of my life experiences with law enforcement, I choose to exercise my rights. Not to be difficult, sir. You guys have much more better things. See, that's just it, because people don't know their rights. And because LEOs, I don't know you 3 gentlemen personally. I quit a department because I ratted out the crook cops that worked with me. Okay? I'm sick of it. The corruption is everywhere. Every single cop in this nation is a liar. All right? I used to be one of them.
And you're calling 3 of us liars.
Yes, sir. If you're going to stand here and tell me you've never falsified, twisted a report just for your benefit, or provided false information, or saw one of your fellow brothers in blue violate someone's rights, or do something wrong, by the mere fact of you withholding that information and not going to your supervisor makes you a liar.
I did not.
In your life, you've never, ever lied. You've never, ever lied in your entire life.
Well, that's something. Are you talking as a police officer or as a human being?
As a police officer, you've never lied in your life. Sir, you're allowed to lie in investigations. The Supreme Court has ruled you're allowed to lie. So your credibility just went out the window for me. I'm a certified interrogator, buddy. Don't sit here and play this game with me. You just lost your credibility. Now, any respectable person would say, of course I've lied. I've lied in the line of duty. I've lied in my personal life. Yeah. I got more integrity in my finger, buddy, than you've got in your whole body.
Okay, sir, back to my original question
yes,
when I first got here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you following somebody?
I don't answer your question, sir.
Okay.
Am I free to go?
Yes, you're free to go.
Thank you.
The first video clearly demonstrates the power of legal knowledge when facing an unlawful traffic stop. The key takeaway is this: you have the right to refuse to show your ID unless the police have a clear and specific legal reason. Always stay calm, ask for the legal basis, and avoid answering any questions without a lawyer present. Coming up next, don't look away, because the second video will surprise you when an auditor flips the investigation back on a police officer secretly patrolling the neighborhood at midnight.
Hello. How are
you doing? I'm alright.
Do you have a license for me, please?
I do. What am I being pulled over for?
You're being pulled over because in that neighborhood over there, I pulled over, you sat behind me, then
Yeah.
I drove away, then you pulled it.
Is that illegal?
Again. Yeah, man, you're following me around. I'm trying to understand why.
That's not illegal, though.
I'm trying to understand why you're following
I'm
me around.
filming you.
I understand that I'm filming you as well.
Alright.
Why are you?
It's not illegal. That's not a reason to pull me over.
Well, okay, then I'll go with your obstructed view right there, the stickers on your back window. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I'm trying to understand why you're following me through neighborhoods.
I'm not. I was sitting there seeing you. I decided to film you.
Okay, why is that?
Because that's what I do for a living.
That's what you do for a living?
Correct.
Does that pay well?
Pays good enough.
Yeah. What's your first name, man?
I'm not answering the question.
Well, you're operating a motor vehicle on New York State highway. You have to identify yourself.
No, if I'm suspected of a crime and riding a motor vehicle is
you
not.
got an obstructed view right there, my friend. That's an obstruction.
You're talking about these dice, my grandma made me?
Unfortunately, that's a violation of the vehicle and traffic law. If you're trying to push it that way, that's the reality of it. So, just trying to get your identification, seeing as you're now being pulled over by the police for a legal stop, you have to identify yourself. That is the law.
If I'm going to be arrested for not identifying, I'll give you my license, no problem.
You have to identify yourself. That is the law.
So if I don't give you my license, you'll arrest me?
If you choose not to identify yourself, then that's going to make things a lot harder for you.
I'm asking you, if I don't identify myself, am I going to get arrested?
You can.
I can, or I'm going to, because there's a difference.
Well, it depends, right?
It depends on what?
I'm trying to give you every opportunity here.
Every opportunity for what?
To cooperate and give me
I
your
told you
license.
why I'm following you, because I was filming you, and that's not illegal. It's not illegal
but it is suspicious. It's 1 in the morning, it's midnight, whatever time. It's actually 2 in the morning. No, it's 12 midnight. It's 12 midnight, man. You can't be following people around like this. I can follow a police officer around and film him, correct? Sure, but if a police officer is driving through a neighborhood and you pull up and sit behind them on the side of the road, then they drive into another neighborhood and you come up and you sit behind them again, that is suspicious, and that's an officer safety concern.
Suspicious is
I'm not going to argue with you. You need to identify yourself.
If I'm like I said, if I'm going to get arrested for not identifying myself, I will produce you my license. But if I'm not, I do not wish to waive my Fourth Amendment rights. So I'll make it real simple. I have a license. It's right here. I do not consent to any lawful search and seizures. It's right here. If you have the right to take it, go ahead. It's right there.
You are obligated to identify yourself.
It's right there. I'm not refusing it.
And hand me your license.
I'm not refusing it.
Be an adult, please, and hand me your license.
So if I don't give it to you, I'm going to be arrested?
Hand me your license. You are obligated by law to identify yourself.
And what happens if I don't?
Joe, don't go this way.
Joe?
Yes.
Why are you calling me Joe?
Because your name is Joe.
Is it?
Your Bluetooth connection says Joe. Your name is Joe. And I'm going to guess
that's Joe calling me.
Correct?
That's Joe calling me.
Hand me your license, please.
It's right here. I'm not refusing to give it to you.
Hand me your license, please.
I do not wish to give my Fourth Amendment rights. I'm not going to
touch your wallet. I'm asking you to hand me your license. You have to identify yourself. You're driving a motor vehicle.
It's as simple as this. I don't wish to waive my Fourth Amendment rights, and I'm not giving you my license.
Not your Fourth Amendment rights. You're operating a vehicle in New York State. You're obligated to hand your license.
If I am suspected of a traffic violation.
You are. Obstructed view right there. Your stickers on
the back.
Those are all violations of vehicle and traffic law.
Behind my seat.
Those are all. I'm just telling you the facts, man. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just telling you the facts. Those are the facts. You're being pulled over.
Here. It's right here. Take it if you can. But I'm not giving it up on my own.
Is your license valid?
Of course it is.
Okay. This doesn't have to be as hard as you're making it. This is a very simple procedure here. You're being pulled over. There's a couple of violations.
Is there a reason you gotta shine this light in my eyes?
Yes, because you're shining your phone right in my face.
I'm shining a phone in your face?
Correct.
Is it bright?
And I'm doing it for my officer safety so I can see inside.
Officer safety to blind my camera?
And argue with you. It's not worth my time. It's really not worth your time. Okay? But I am trying to understand why you're sitting behind police cars on the side of the road. It is an officer safety.
Because I'm filming you. I told you.
How would you feel if someone was doing that to you? If someone was sitting behind you on the side of the road looking at you?
If I was a public servant, it's a constitutionally protected activity to do so.
Okay. All right. Hang tight for a second, please. This is Daniel Warmus. What's that? He's one of those auditors that they were warning us about. This guy's got a camera in my face auditing my whole stop. I went through Stone Ridge over there. That car was actually parked in a driveway. I'm swinging back out, and he comes up behind me, so I pull over for him to pass, and then he sits behind me. Just sits behind me as I'm sitting on the side of the road. I'm like, what is this dude doing? So then I drive out, make a right on Shawnee, and I go to pull over at the end of this street. He again pulls over and sits behind me. So then I flip around. You can see he's got an obstructed view and all that. And I'm like, well, so he pulls in here. So obviously that's why I stopped him. he's trying to make it an issue. He's trying to goat me into an argument, saying he doesn't consent to a Fourth Amendment. I'm like, this is the vehicle and traffic law, man. These are your issues. But
almost accept that.
all right, Daniel, I'm just going to explain this to you very quickly, okay? Over in Stone Ridge, obviously we're checking neighborhoods, trying to make sure everyone's safe, everyone's home is safe, nothing bad's going on. When you come up behind me like that and I pull over and then you sit behind me.
Listen, I don't mind contact.
No, you're good, man.
But if you want to act like a jerk and start telling about stickers.
I'm just telling you, matter of fact, that's against the law. Matter of fact, anything hanging from a mirror like that obstructs your view, that's against the law. I'm not mad about it. I'm not writing you a ticket about it.
Look at these things.
I get it. They're nice.
My dead grandma made these.
They're beautiful, dude. I get it. And I'm all for it. But I'm telling you that's why you're being pulled over. It's a violation against the law, okay? I'm not mad at you for having them.
That's the reason you pulled me over, though.
I'm going to tell you the whole. This is what I was trying to tell you before you interrupted me. So let me finish so I can explain it to you, okay? It's very simple. All right? So when I'm checking the neighborhoods, you pull up behind me and you sit behind me at midnight, right? And then I leave. Then I go down Shawnee Road. I again pull over. You again sit behind me, okay? Do my U-turn. I see you. I see your car. I see your issues with your car, your violations. It is what it is. Then you pull into another neighborhood. My concern is this. People pay a lot of money to live in this nice area of Wheatfield, want to make sure their houses are safe, everything is good. So if you're going through neighborhoods, but then you won't pass the police, or you won't see me, or you won't get near me, but you can sit behind me, right? That's kind of suspicious. So that's what alerted me to your car. You have violations, whether you like it or not. Those are beautiful dice. I'm very sorry about your grandma. That's great that you have those there to, sentimental value for her. But it is a violation of the vehicle and traffic law. I'm not going to write you a ticket for it because I don't think I need to. But I'm explaining to you why you're legally, lawfully pulled over and why you legally and lawfully have to identify being pulled over like this, okay? So it is what it is.
Then why wouldn't you commit to saying, yeah, if you don't give me your ID, you can be arrested?
Because I was trying to de-escalate with you and not get into an argument with you. Because I don't...
Listen, I obviously, you know who I am now because you ran that, and I'm sure there's a bolo out about who I am and what I do. You
I know who you are.
About my YouTube channel, and I investigate police. And I didn't lie to you. I do follow police, and I do film police. And let me tell you, like, between me and you, I don't hate police, all right? For you to tell me you got to shine your flashlight in my phone because I'm shining in your face, like, there's no light emitting from my phone except for the reflection coming off your flashlight, right? The reason that I followed you today is because somebody from this neighborhood told me that for some reason a patrol comes through there on the same night, every night, around the same time, and sometimes they drive through the neighborhood without any lights on. That to me is suspicious. Right? You came through there, you patrolled, it looked like you patrolled, looked perfectly fine to me. When I hear that a police is rolling around a neighborhood with no lights on, doesn't that sound suspicious?
So let me ask you a question. Why is it, I mean, I appreciate what you're doing, looking out for your friend, right, in the neighborhood, but police officers are always going through these neighborhoods because I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a lot of car break-ins in the town of Wheatfield.
I respect and I appreciate that you're patrolling.
So maybe...
But I'm telling you, I would never have been waiting. I would never have waited to see what the cop's doing if I didn't hear and have video proof evidence of a cop rolling through the neighborhood with the lights off. Why would a cop roll through the neighborhood with the lights off?
Maybe there's a suspicious person in the neighborhood they're trying to sneak up on them.
If you're patrolling and trying to show presence...
Maybe someone's stealing a car.
Lights on? I mean,
not always.
That's why I'm concerned.
Daniel, but it doesn't always. Because if someone is in that neighborhood, stealing from cars, going through people's cars, and you come in with your headlights, what do you think that person's going to do? They're going to duck behind the car. They're going to duck in between the houses. So do you want to catch the bad guy, or do you...
I can appreciate that. I appreciate
so
you guys are out doing
no
your
worries,
job.
and I'm explaining it to you, right? That's why we're checking neighborhoods. We check neighborhoods every single night. So tell your buddy that lives in that neighborhood that he'll probably see a lot of sheriff's cars in the neighborhood, and they'll be checking the neighborhood because we're trying to make sure everybody's safe. That's a very nice neighborhood. This is a very nice neighborhood. We don't want anybody to be a subject to crime if we can prevent it. That's our job. That's what we do, especially on midnight shift. So when you come out behind me, like I just explained to you, and then I pull over to get out of your way, and then you stop behind me and just sit there, that to me is a red flag. That's suspicious to me, right?
I mean, because this, if I had no dice in my windshield or no stickers on my back window, you wouldn't have been able to pull me over?
Actually, by law, I still could, because to me, your activity right now is suspicious at this time of night.
Suspicious of what?
I just explained it to you, right? You're in a neighborhood, you're stopping. Can I finish? You're in a neighborhood. You won't pass me, right? That is a type of suspicious activity, because if you were just leaving the neighborhood, wouldn't you have just gone around me and left? Or why are you then pulling into the next neighborhood over? How do I know that you're not going through cars? And I'm not saying that you are, but how do I know? So it is my job and my duty as a police officer to check and make sure that the neighborhoods are safe, the community is safe. Okay? So I appreciate what you're trying to do for your friend, but also I hope you appreciate what I'm trying to do for your friend also, and everyone that lives in that neighborhood and all of the neighborhoods. That's all it is. It's very simple.
I told my friend he's crazy. They're just patrolling. But when he tells me and shows me a video of a cop rolling through with no lights on, sitting in front of the houses there, it makes me suspicious. And you can understand that, right?
Well, maybe they're working on an investigation. Maybe your friend's neighborhood or neighbor is doing criminal activity, and they're trying to survey it. You don't know. It's possible. But I can tell you what I'm doing is I'm checking the neighborhood, making sure that everyone in that neighborhood is not getting their cars broken into. Next, I'm going to go up to Trails End. I'm going to check that neighborhood, because they get a lot of car larcenies up there too. So you don't have to follow me. Please feel free not to. But that's my plan for the night. And that's what we do when we aren't working on calls.
Is it normal to be on the same night every week? This is like your patrol every Thursday?
I work Monday through Friday, and I check that neighborhood almost every night. And I check this neighborhood, and I check the other ones. So you let your friend know that it's really not a big deal.
Listen, I was just happy to be sitting there on that time because of the last month and a half. At that time, every day on Thursday, there's a patrol rolling through there, and sometimes with the lights off. Sounds suspicious. I don't know.
Well,
and you know what?
And you know what's
as much as I appreciate police, and I do, there's enough police out there that aren't the most upright police officers that, you know what, it's worth checking out sometimes. And you ought to appreciate what I do, because, you know, sometimes, say an officer on your line of duty does something dirty and you say something, you might end up on desk duty because you crossed the blue line, and there's this blue line gang activity that happens, right? So if I investigate and I find no wrongdoing, it's all good. But if I find something that you can't report on but I can, because I can't be put on desk duty, I can't be, you know what I'm saying? And you laugh about it, but it's the facts. That's the facts in life. That not all police are upright and unjust.
And you know what? The ones that aren't shouldn't have a job, right?
Right.
We all know that.
But how can you just come across the line and blow them in? Is it that easy, or are you all of a sudden a target of them? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to ask you to say that because you're on camera. I'm just going to tell you, I'm out here for that reason.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I hope you can now see the situation here, because you know what? I noticed this truck actually when I went around that neighborhood, and I saw your friend's garage door was open. And I made a note of that because if some break-in happens, they left their garage door open, right? I could have actually gone up and knocked on his door and told him to close his garage. Maybe I'll do that next time, but maybe that'll freak him out even more. I don't know. But, you know, half the time we stop and we close people's garages for them to make sure that stuff doesn't get stolen. Is that bad behavior? Because we do that a lot too. So, I don't know. But here's your license, dude. You're all set. I'm not writing any tickets. You have a good night, okay?
Can I get your name? Officer. Officer.
Daniel, get back in your car.
Yo, can I ask you a question? I got a question for you. Traffic stop's over.
You have to get back in your car.
Traffic stop's over.
You have to get back in your car.
Can you come back to my car? I got a question for you.
Get back in your car, please.
Can you please come back to my car?
Get back in your car. I'm not going to tell you again.
What? Why? The traffic stop's over.
Daniel, please get back.
Will you come back to the car and ask, so I can ask you a question? Will you come back here so I can ask you a question?
This is not a debate. Please get back in your car.
Will you come to the car so I can ask you a question?
Back in your car.
Will you please come back to the car so I can ask you a question? I'm getting back in the car. Will you please come talk to me?
Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. These two separate incidents reflect the same alarming reality. Civil rights are being tested on the streets of America. In Jacksonville, a city with over 900 lawsuits related to police misconduct over the past decade, a former officer calmly confronts an unlawful detention. Meanwhile, in the quiet suburb of Wheatfield, New York, known for one of the highest car theft rates in the state, a determined auditor forces a deputy to reveal his identity and explain suspicious midnight patrols. You don't have to wear a badge or hold a camera to learn this lesson. Know your rights. If you're pulled over, ask why you're being detained. Ask if you're free to go. Without a clear legal reason, you are not required to show ID. And never answer any questions without your lawyer present. Share this video to help spread legal awareness and show others how to stand firm against overreach. Subscribe now to Mr. White and drop a comment with the letter W if you believe civil rights deserve absolute respect and protection.